Let me tell you the story about the very first time that I hired a business coach and how it all just went terribly, terribly wrong. But it is also the reason why I am doing what I am doing today. So my name is Monica Bozinov. I'm a business consultant and I'm a tapping into wealth coach. And I'm kind of the reluctant business owner. Let me explain. It all started like maybe 13 years ago when I was desperately searching for a tool, a help of some kind to help me with many challenges that I had, both emotionally and health-wise. I had allergies and eczema, asthma, I got rashes, I had problems with my digestion, I had panic attacks and anxiety, and I was really in a state. And I knew I needed help and I didn't have the money to pay for any. Kind of a catch-22. So I was looking on the internet for something to help me, and I stumbled upon this website that presented this method that claimed to be like, they claimed to help with everything. And of course, I was skeptical, but I didn't really have anything to lose. So I read the manual. It was about 84 pages. And this person that had created this method, he said, like, maybe you think that this is too good to be true. And I was like, mm-hmm. And then he said, but try it anyway. Give it 90 days. Use this method 90 days in a row. And you will notice the difference, and the people around you will notice the difference. And I did. And he was right. I noticed the difference, but even people in my surroundings would start commenting on that I looked much better, that I had changed, so on and so forth. So I saw that this method worked, and I continued using it for a few years, and I got more and more proficient in using the method, and my overall quality of life just increased dramatically. And then I kind of felt obligated to start a business, to start a coaching service, and to help people, because I understand, I understood that if this can make such a huge change in my life, if I can improve my life this much, then it can do the same for everyone else. I was terrified to start a business, but I did what so many coaches tell you, like feel the fear and do it anyway. And I started talking to people about what I could do, about what this method could do. And as I was so stressed out and terrified and still passionate about what I did, like my voice got really high pitched, and I was just talking and talking and talking. And people would, they would get this nervous look on their face, and they would back up and they would disappear. I was scaring people away. I wasn't realizing it, but I did sort of understand that there's something that I don't get. You know how powerless you are when you have that feeling that I get that there's something I'm not getting. It's so disempowering and painful, really. So I understood that, okay, I need to get some help with this. And I found this business coach that was using the same tools that I was using. So I thought, well, this is perfect, because she will understand, what I'm going through and what I can do. And she was all focused on building your business and marketing. And so I decided to hire her, even though I couldn't really afford her. She was like outside of my budget. But I decided that, okay, I really need this help. this will solve all of my problems. I will be able to build a business. So this is an investment that will pay off for me. And we really, got off on a great start. She sent me all these digital products with textbooks and worksheets, and we would start like focusing on my avatar and my perfect client and what niche I would choose and how to get started, really. And we kind of decided that I could market myself as a stress coach, because so much of the work I had done with myself was around, stress and anxiety and improving my quality of life. And she suggested that I start calling like big companies in the city where I lived, that I would call their HR departments, and that I would offer them my services as a stress coach. And it all sounded wonderful. The thing was, we had it all kind of lined up. We had the script, the pitch. I had made a list where to call, and we kind of agreed upon, like, till next session, you will start calling these companies. And so our next session was like 2 weeks away. So when our next session came and she was all excited and she said, well, Monica, how did it go? Like, how did the calls go? How did people react? And I was like, well, you see, I didn't quite get to the calls. I started improving the script that we made, and I made the list of companies even longer, and well, I didn't actually make any calls. And she said, okay, so is there anything that you need help with so that you will be able to make those calls? And I was like, well, I think I'm good. And then we talked. She coached me a little bit more on the calling and made sure that I could pick up that phone and make those calls. And another 2 weeks went by, and our session came up, and she asked me, well, Monica, how did it go? How many calls did you make? How many clients did you get? And you probably get where this is going by now, right? I was like, well, you see, I've been terribly busy these past 2 weeks, and actually I didn't make the calls. And now I was getting uncomfortable, and she saw that, whoa, okay, I need to hold my client accountable. So she said, well, okay, so why didn't you make those calls? And I didn't have a clue. And she pushed me. She said, well, there must be something that's stopping you. So what is it? And I was like, oof. Now I was getting I was cold sweating. My hands were shaking. I was getting a really physical reaction to her questions. And I kind of I was all tense, and I said, I don't know. I just can't make those calls. It's too hard. And she said, okay, what is the emotion that's coming up now when you say that? And I didn't know. I couldn't explain the emotion. I just had a really strong physical reaction to it. And she said, okay, so where in your body is this sensation located? And I had no idea, because all of my body was just reacting. And I took a deep breath, and I tried to go into my body and locate that emotion. And I was really surprised when it felt like I was sitting on that emotion. And I said, wow, it's down by my tailbone. And I was totally confused. And she said, okay, so sit in that emotion, feel it. What is the emotion? And this was so painful for me. And my physical reactions, all around in my body, were getting stronger. And as I understood what the emotion was all about, I was shocked. I was embarrassed. I felt ashamed as I told her, it's death anxiety. I was so embarrassed. And she said, well, Monica, we need to do some work on this. And we did. But I was so embarrassed because of what had happened. You know, I hired her as a business coach, and she tells me to make a few phone calls, and I get death anxiety. I mean, honestly, like in the history of cold calling, no one ever died from picking up the phone, right? I felt so stupid. But then afterwards, memories started coming up through my body of a situation when I was really, really young, a very young child, and I had spoken out. I stepped up and I spoke out for what I believed in, and I was shut down in a very violent manner. And I understood that this has very little to do with cold calling and everything to do with my own fears and my own programming and my own experiences of what it means for me to step up, be seen, be heard, be visible, and claim what I know and what I can do. So I almost retired for a year almost from my business. I kept my day job to survive, and I found the best people that I could work with, and I did this really deep transformational work on the inside. And then my business, the way I marketed myself, the way I spoke about my business, everything changed. It was like suddenly people could hear what I was offering and they took me seriously. They understood. But as I had gone through this change myself and I started talking to other business owners, I sensed that, wow, I'm not the only person with issues like this. I'm not the only person that's shaky when she's going out to promote herself. This is rather a common issue. We all have been in some way beaten down and been distressed and had challenges with stepping up, talking, and being visible. So that's when I knew what I had to do. And today I help passionate entrepreneurs that are on a big mission, that know that they can create change in people's lives, in businesses, or maybe even change the world. But they need help creating that foundation to stand on. And that is why right now I am offering for the right person a money breakthrough session with me, free of charge. We will map out your money situation, and that will actually reveal what is going on in your system and what we need to work on. So this might be resonating with you. If so, click the link, fill out the application and send it, and I will review it. And if I see that we are a good fit, we will set up a time to talk so that you can create that confidence, that unshakable ground to stand on, so that you can build your business from there. But you need to start with yourself first. Click the link and send me your application.